We're ready if you guys are. Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call to order this business meeting for GFW School District 2365 at the given ECFE room. It is 6 p.m. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lots to get through tonight. I have a motion to approve the agenda. I'll make a motion for the agenda. Second. George, thank you. All in favor? Passes. Julie, we have any visitor recognition or public comments? None? Thank you. Consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Looks like a lot of approvals. You want to touch on any of them?
Looks like it's meeting minutes. We did have a special board meeting, the August 4th meeting, as well as the finance report. And in just a few minutes, Todd Netsky, who was our new business service manager, is going to hop on via Zoom, and he's going to kind of walk through what the treasurer's reports are going to look like for our board packets going forward. We did have some hires and some terminations as well.
With the hires, are we, have we met our quota on paraprofessionals? Are we still short, or what are we missing for other?
I think as of right now, paraprofessionals were status.
Okay.
But there's always an unknown when it comes to paraprofessionals and hiring, but we're still working on a few hires as well that and too, so.
Few other hires, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good question. Any other questions on it? George, Mark, Jamie? Yeah. No. All right, all in favor? Passes. All right, information items. Cabinet presentation by Todd Netsky.
Yeah. On there. Okay, I gave him a 5-minute notice at 6 o'clock, so maybe it's just a little. I can do my update.
Yeah, let's do that while we wait for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So things are getting exciting around here, ramping up for the start of the school year. A lot of excitement. Our new teachers show up tomorrow for new teacher induction, so I'm looking forward to meeting the new staff that are coming on board, as well as our elementary staff come in tomorrow to begin moving into the new building. And then all of our staff report on Monday for workshop week. I do want to give a special shout out and a thank you to the Firebird Foundation. They're going to provide lunch for our staff on Monday as they come in. That's always a nice treat to have. I want to share an enrollment update as well. We're at 568 K-12 students, 614 with preschool included. Last year we ended for K-12 at 556 students. So we are up with our enrollment. I want to draw some special attention to an item for approval later this evening in our student handbook, and that's in regards to our attendance procedures at the middle school, high school for our juniors and seniors. One of the things that we're looking to do is elevate our college visits as well as our career readiness visits. So currently right now, our juniors and seniors are provided with 2 excused absence days to go to visit colleges. And we would like to increase that to 4 days, but we'd also like to increase add 4 days of work-based learning experiences. So if students want to go to a job fair, they want to go shadow someone in a career field that they're interested to, we want to remove a barrier for them and allow them to go have 4 days of excused absences to go shadow and see, and then come back and report back and do a reflection and say, you know, this was a great experience for me. I think I really want to do this. And then we can help and say, okay, what are classes at GFW that we can help you with? Or are there colleges that you're interested in going to visit? And we can help you with that as well. later tonight, I'm gonna bring the Gibbon Fire Department on a walkthrough of the new building. They wanna take a look at some of our fire exits as well as where the fire panels are and stuff. So I'm very excited about that community engagement component. And I just wanna say too, like so far, being here now for a month and a half, I have been overwhelmed with how positive everything has been here at GFW. I mean, everything from journal articles to Facebook messages to emails and meeting business owners and community members and parents and staff. Everything here has been so positive, and it's been wonderful being onboarded as your new superintendent that way. Most times you end up with we really got to fix this stuff, but this has been great. A great experience so far. So thank you all.
Thank you. You have Todd yet?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Alan, would it be best if I shared my screen, do you think?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And Todd, you kind of want to
Okay.
introduce a little bit about your services that you provide for us too?
Okay, you seen that?
Yep.
Are you seeing that, Alan? Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Todd Netsky. I'm the owner of SMS and your business manager. Um, like Alan, I've had a very positive month and a half with the district. Julie and Jennifer have been wonderful, and Alan as well. So very happy to be on the team. Wade too. Wade's been excellent as well. Um, so what we're looking at here is the budget update um, for fiscal year 2025. And this is with activity posted through August 14th, 2025. What we're seeing right now is, we're in the process of closing the books for FY25. So we have some weird numbers, property taxes, for instance. All of the property tax revenues get coded to Fund 1. And then in the next couple of weeks here, we'll journal those out to Fund 4 and Fund 7 as well. So we do expect to end at the budget amount of roughly 1.859 million. Right now we have 3.5 million there. State aids are at 7,496,000 to date. And maybe I should just back up 1 second. So what we have in this report is we have 2 years ago final. I'm just going to explain to you what you're looking at here. So this is final audited June 30, 23 in this column. We have revenues at the top by category, state, federal, taxes, and local. And then we have last year final. This is the board approved adopted budget from June of 24, probably when the board would have approved it. These are all the revenues collected to date. And this is what we have remaining to be received. So when the number is negative, that means we actually collected more than our budget. So when we see a negative there in the revenues, that's actually a good thing. And then back to state aids here. And then actually, I'm going to go to the far right. We have June 30 of 24. Of course, that's not very exciting because that's the end of the fiscal year. So these numbers over here agree with these numbers here. Once we get into the new year reporting, this percent of actuals received versus percent of budget received in the current year, that just helps tell us, are we on track? Are we on pace with the prior year and so on? So state being at 89.8% of budget right now, that's where we expect to be. The state holds back 10% of our revenue each year through June 30th. So we have a large receivable to book as we finalize the books. And we should end roughly at budget around 100% once we posted that receivable. And the state did just give us some good news. They were prorating special ed state aid at 95%. Just in the last week, they realized they have enough funding to pay us 100% of our entitlement. So that's good news for us too. So we do have some federal grants to draw down. Right now, we've only drawn down 44,592. We have until November to do that, but that's going to be a priority here real soon to make sure we draw down all of our federal funds. And then local revenues are tracking higher than budget by 140,000. And pretty sure that's related to interest earnings being higher than anticipated. Any questions on revenue so far?
Hey Todd, so with that property taxes, you said that the year-to-date actual, did you say it's gonna go up by 1.8? That's what you're expecting yet?
No, we expect to end at the budgeted amount of 1,859,000. So it's going to decrease by this 1,664,000.
Oh, okay, and why is that?
So property taxes go to funds 1, 4, and 7. And all of the revenue was booked into Fund 1 throughout the year, which is not totally uncommon. So like I said, as we close out the books, we're going to do our journal entries to move revenues to Fund 4 and 7. If we look back here in Fund 4, this is the detail. You can see all the property tax codes here in Fund 4, 0 revenues to date. And in Fund 7, same thing. We haven't recognized any revenue in Fund 1. So these are the actual detailed account codes that roll up to the report we're looking at. So that's what's going on. Does that answer your question?
So if this is a whole, consolidation of all those funds and they're gonna flow from 4 to 7, why would that change it?
This is Fund 1 only.
Yeah, can you explain that, I guess? I don't think we've ever called them that before. 1, 4, and 7?
So Fund 1 is the general fund. So
Oh,
that's where the bulk of our operations are at, right?
okay.
Fund 2 is food service.
Oh, okay, so we're
And
familiar with those terms so it's just gonna move from the general fund to whatever 4 and 7 are.
yeah,
So this is
community
just,
ed and debt service.
okay, so these revenues and expenditures are just the general.
Yeah, this top part is general fund only. These expenditures here by object series are general fund only.
Okay,
And then we have the same expenditures sorted or kind of grouped by a program series. So you can see these numbers agree. This is general fund only. And then as we scroll down, we have the other funds, food service, community education, construction, debt service. These
okay,
are the
now,
revenues, expenses.
okay, now I follow. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so then looking at on the expenditure side of things, salaries and wages, we are over budget by 2% or 119,967. Benefits, we are over budget as well by 72,167. Purchase services, we are under budget 136,569. Supplies, we came in under 144,496. Equipment, we were over 103,049. And expenditures under budget 10,577. So if you add all that up, we're almost at net zero break even. We're 3,540 over budget on expenditures, which is like right at 100% of budget. So salaries and wages are final. We don't anticipate anything changing there. Purchase service supplies in these other areas, we could have invoices still come in that we need to book back to June. But we're nearing that point where these numbers are final as well. Any questions on the expenditures?
The salaries and wages, that's off by 2 teachers, it looks like basically. Worth of salary.
I can take a quick look at that.
I mean, it could be it's not necessarily two teachers, I guess. It would depend on,
That's just what's compared.
oh,
Yeah, it's kind of across the board. Admin came in over budget 51,000. Teachers were actually pretty close, just like 13,000 over. Social worker, looks like we maybe added a second social worker. I mean, we're off there by 52,000. Paras are over budget 72,000. And this is some other cash in lieu or other types of wages. And then some areas came in under budget as well, but overall, over budget 119. So this, just as a reference, this is the detail or kind of another level of detail that Alan and I will look at and talk through by object code. And then of course, there's roughly 1,500 rows that roll up to this in terms of account codes. So in summary, right now, I believe we're going to come in right kind of at budget, maybe slightly over on revenue, a little bit better than budget. And expenditures are right at budget. And the budget called for a deficit spend of 585,000. And when we look at revenues versus expenses, actually not a deficit spend, a positive gain of 585,000. So right now, based on what I've seen, I believe we're going to come in real close to those numbers. And then just higher level other funds, food service, we're at 467,000 in revenue. And expenses are at 559,000. Looks like a deficit was anticipated of about 100,000 there. That's kind of where we're at now. The numbers are a little lower, both revenues and expenses. Community education, 382,000 in revenue. And again, we have revenue that we need to move from Fund 1 to Community Ed, so that's going to bump this up closer to budget. And expenses are coming in a little over budget by about 25,000. We have our construction interest earnings, 3.7 million, and construction expenditures of 41,467,000 to date. And then our debt service activity, and again, we have revenue to shift to Fund 7 as well, or debt service. So overall, our deficit spend is 39,425,000. That, of course, is driven by the construction fund spend down. Any questions on the budget update?
George, no, very good, yeah, David?
It's much better than what we thought we were.
Mark, will you? Good. Oh, looks good, good job, Todd.
Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, have a good night, guys.
Talk to you next time too. Okay. That's encouraging news. Yeah, got one question, your update, did they get the fiber hooked up today?
no, they're still working on this.
Yeah. I had one question as well, did the elevator inspection pass today?
It got pushed to Thursday. I tried that with good news.
All right, so. I guess we're on to Principal Jacobson for the elementary, high school update.
Oh, do you want me to read Jennifer's or do you just wanna me to read mine? Just,
Oh, might as well read both. Right?
okay, well then I need to open that. I wasn't prepared for that, give it a second here. Oh, Mr. Warner, can you pull that up? I read mine. Because it was not coming up with really. Wait, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Says big mission. Do I have a mission?
I'm fascinated.
Yeah, okay, so. Mrs. Thompson, her board notes, we're looking forward to summer activities. Letters are going home for our Edge. Summer school. Is this the right one? No.
Is that what I read?
I need you to find that for me, please.
Do you want mine? I have it.
Certainly.
Thank you for that.
Okay, well, staff development days, Principal Jacobson and myself look forward to meeting with new staff members on August 19th through the 20th for our new staff induction days, and all non-tenured and new staff together on August 21st. On the 19th and 20th, elementary staff will begin setting up in the new building. It is great to see all of the progress taking place, and I am excited for the staff to be in their new classrooms. We'll have many new processes, especially around before and after school and lunch and recess times. I feel confident that our elementary team will work together to ensure that our students are feeling comfortable and welcomed in the new space. Back to school. Back to school letters have gone out and parents have begun signing up for their child's meet and greet appointments. Meet and greets are on August 27th and September 2nd, with the first day of school being the 3rd. Families will have the opportunity to visit with their child's teacher at that time, meet the specialists, tour the new school, and get their questions answered. PBIS, T-Bird Way is now Firebird Pride. The team met at the end of July and we planned activities for the year and determined what our behavior matrix would look like in making the switch from the T-Bird Way to Firebird Pride. Classrooms will be reaching for gold throughout the school year in various ways, and we are looking forward to starting our junior coach program during recess. T-Bird Community Arts. Thank you to everyone who attended the musical Anastasia. It was an amazing show with many people volunteering hundreds of hours of their time to make the show a success. Over 650 people attended the 4 shows that were offered, and the cast had a great time putting on the show for everyone. The show was made possible by TCA Grant and Prairie Lakes Regional Arts. Thank you, Mrs. Sayre. I appreciate that. Okay, so middle school, high school. This summer we have been diligently preparing for the new school year. Our focus has been on ensuring we have adequate staff to teach our classes, confirming all teaching licenses are up to date, and finalizing the master schedule. Much of our scheduling work has centered around making adjustments to improve efficiency for both students and teachers, including designing a high school schedule that allows students access to as many courses as possible. We are excited to share that we have expanded our college and our college course offerings. This year we have added college pre-calculus and college calculus 1 to our list. In total, we now offer 9 SMSU college courses taught by our own teachers at GFW High School. We will also continue working on accreditation for additional courses, particularly in our CTE pathways. While many of these courses currently follow an articulated agreement model, they still provide students with opportunities to possibly earn college credit. Another major area of focus has been the continued development of our PBIS program. Under the leadership of Mrs. Bussey and our dedicated PBIS team, we have been building a system that supports both staff and students. Mrs. Hoare, our teaching and learning coordinator, has been an active member of this team and has worked closely with Mrs. Bussey to strengthen the program, with a recent emphasis on enhancing reward systems for students. Our work also includes refining the behavior matrix and creating a referral system to track student behaviors. The data collected through this system will allow us to provide targeted supports for teachers, helping them manage student behavior more effectively and enabling a proactive, less punitive approach. We have also been developing a new teacher support plan and preparing professional development for our staff as we begin the school year. Our professional development will continue to focus on student learning and engagement in the classroom, centered around practices that have been shown to be effective. This is ongoing work that we are aligning with our PLC inquiry cycles to strengthen instructional practices across the district. While many things have been happening, one of the biggest events this summer was our high school musical, which took place earlier this month and was a huge success. We are also preparing for our upcoming open house, where our student council will be involved in greeting families, handing out Chromebooks, and setting up booths to encourage students to get involved with the many activities that we offer.
All right, thank you. Any questions, anybody? All right. Emily? Okay. Student, or actually we'll do the Dasher updates. So give me a second to grab that. So. So it looks like we had some training done in Marshall, Minnesota Department of Health Inspector on indoor air quality at schools. Brian also attended a training with the Institute of Environmental Assessment, Inc., playground equipment inspections, indoor and outdoor bleacher inspections, and turf football field inspections for schools. They're continuing to mow lawns, spray weeds, trim some more trees at all the sites. Continue packing up areas of the elementary building for the move, clean the auditorium after the TCA play this summer. They continue to meet with moving companies for the middle school and high school, shops and weight room equipment. Worked with the sprinkler to do annual sprinkler checking in elementary and the high school. We'll be working on Summit Fire to do all the fire alarm, fire extinguishers, and kitchen hood annual inspection. And he had hot water heater training on the new heaters at the new school. That is it for a Dasher update. All right. Student council update. Hopefully when school starts, we'll have student council join us again. So then we can go to board reports. So kind of we'll start with the River Bend.
As much as we did not have a board meeting in July, I have nothing to offer.
Okay.
Other than I facilitated the get together between Mr. Hazen and Superintendent Berg, and I think.
So you got to meet the,
Yeah.
okay, good.
It's good.
That's a good program down there. Policy committee, we've been crushing through them left and right, all state minor statute changes for the most part.
Well, the biggest change is the one for the Narcan. For 9th through 12th graders can administer it, they just can't carry it.
Yep.
It's about the biggest change to anything. Maybe you wanna,
Say a few more words about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So on the agenda tonight, there's a couple, well, not a couple, there's a lot of policies. A lot of them are one read policy changes for technical changes or wording changes that are either state changes like changing from Minnesota statute 2024 to Minnesota statute 2025, or for instance, one with health and safety changed an EpiPen from an auto injector to an auto injector delivery system is the name of it. There's a few other ones that are also on the board packet that would be two read policies. Those had some more substantive changes involved with them. For instance, the Narcan policy that was brought up is state statute change that would allow students in grades 9 through 12 to not only carry Narcan around with them in the school, but also be able to administer it. And it's optional for school districts to allow students to carry Narcan and administer it. After having conversations with our principals as well as our district nurse, we don't want to penalize children for in the unfortunate situation where they would need to administer Narcan. The school district does have Narcan on site as required by law, but we just don't want kids carrying it around because it takes a level of responsibility. But if you happen to be in a classroom and a teacher says, go to the nurse's office, get the Narcan and come back. And the teacher says, open it up, help me out here. We want to be able to let our 9th through 12th graders be able to do that. The other one was the literacy and the READ Act had some substantive changes as well. And that was just really calling out that here in Minnesota, English is our foundational language, and that's what we would screen our students with fast bridge testing as well on that. And then school weapons policy, that was updated to include a wider range of weapons and in the policy as well. So that's a 2 read, school meals as well. So we're continuing with the free meals. So there were some updates with that as well. So those would require 2 reads. I know it was a lot. I think that was about 115 pages of our 200-page board package.
It was. Okay, but that's a good update. Anybody got questions on it? Good. Anything to add anything to the policy? Ready?
Covered it.
Perfect. We'll move on to FFLRP.
FFLRP, we talked about the building timelines, opening on time for the elementary and went over some of the employee handbook that we're gonna approve later.
Okay. Mark, anything to add?
Well, basically a lot about the new building and what's all going on, and we kind of repeat a lot of this stuff at our board meetings, so.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of knows what's going on.
Yep. Anything to add? No. Okay. Community engagement.
We met tonight as usual. Superintendent Berg touched on this already, but that was the attendance allowing, is it juniors and seniors?
Yep.
Yeah, juniors and seniors going from 2 to 4 college visit days as well as 4 job shadow days, so a total of 8 days. And really hoping that that also strengthens relationships with businesses around the area as well. Superintendent Berg brought up that there have been some inquiries about selling pieces of furniture that our buildings currently hold. And as a group, we have given him permission to go ahead and sell those pieces as they've been requested to be sold, and they would eventually at some point, so give him permission to do that. And then we also talked about advertising procedures with scoreboards and what that would look like, potentially look like in the future, as a lot of those current advertisements on there would be coming due in 2 years, so.
Currently, we don't collect any revenue off advertising, right?
No, so they go through the boosters. Yeah.
Okay. And I thought didn't everything have to go on an auction that gets sold, so everybody has an opportunity?
So, yeah, so under board policy, actually, the superintendent has authorization for obsolete or excess supplies and materials. So specifically, the reason this came up is we have a lot of specialized ed equipment here in the elementary building that Riverbend is interested in. And actually, they want to come look at it tomorrow, and they've made an offer and are really wanting to get it sooner rather than later. And, you know, honestly, it benefits our students. And I do know that there's been a couple of daycares in the area too that have been reaching out and asking, you know, what are you doing with this stuff? Or, you know, we'd be interested in this too. So, you know, we want to help neighboring districts. There's another neighboring district that's reached out and they're looking for middle school choir chairs. And knew that we were vacating this building, and we're like, we want first dibs and we want to walk around and see it, and they want to come this week and take a look too. And so
Good, well, that's good.
you know, honestly, I think the more we can do without an auction would be.
Yeah. Mhm. And any updates on the time capsules?
The time capsule has been placed.
It's in place.
It's in place.
Perfect.
Yes,
That's a pretty significant update then.
yes, exactly. Yeah, it was very exciting actually. So,
Okay, cool. And then executive committee, George?
Basically went all over that for me,
Yeah,
I
it is.
just. Pretty short meeting.
Yeah. A lot of detail on the schedule too, as far as inspections and elevator this and HVC that, electrical this and score clock, shot clock that.
All of your language address that.
It's fascinating. But no, it was a good meeting, so here we are now presenting it, so. Okay, on to some action items, which we have plenty of. So action item A. We have a motion for recommendation to set the truth and taxation hearing on December 15th at 6:01 PM.
I would make that motion.
Okay, second, Any discussion on it? Emily? Amy? Or George? No. Good, all in favor? Great, motion passes. Action item B, can I get a motion for recommendation to approve staff handbook for 25-26 school year?
I'll make a motion to approve the staff handbook for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? Kind of talked about it in multiple committee meetings, but how about,
Even through that, there's a ton that's changed.
no,
No,
Year 2 years.
no, it's pretty standard, and we did have CISO or HR department take a look, and they were in favor of it and gave us the green light too.
good? Anything else? All right, all in favor? All right. Action item C, recommendation to approve student handbook for 25-26 school year. I have a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
discussion. Same thing we've talked about in our policy meetings and, touched on a little bit open marketing and stuff, so.
What's, has there been anything that's changed with the anti-bullying and I noticed it was laid out, you know, that what happens if policies are broken by students.
Like the consequences.
Yeah.
Chart at the end, yeah,
Right,
it's
so-
still a chart. There was one change that we did with the behavior matrix. We did add that all consequences are subject to administrative discretion, as some behaviors are so large that it does require an additional level of support or additional level of consequences that would be, so that is a change that hasn't been there before. Because, you know, if something big happened, technically under the student handbook and stuff, it would have had to start at square one, but sometimes they're so big that you gotta go
Give it a
further.
couple steps.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was one. Do you want me to kind of run through the bullets of what's been updated?
Yeah, probably should.
Yeah, so we updated description of what points of engagement mean, meaning the kind of the chain of command, you know, if you've got a problem with your student's grade, you don't go jump directly to the school board, or you start with the teacher, then you go to the principal, then you go to the superintendent, then the school board. We added a addition of plagiarism in artificial intelligence. You know, being able to use artificial intelligence in the classroom with teacher permission, but also that it is not your sole use of academic work. So you can't just type it in, copy and paste and turn in a paper. There needs to be a level of engagement and thought with that. Senior lunch pass, we removed the portion about parents signing off on it because historically we have not had that. But we also added in there that it would only be in effect through January 1st of 2026 until we move into the new building. Then the senior lunch pass will be revoked. I encouraged our high school student council that if they want to bring a proposal forward to keep it in place, that they do so. And they go through the process and bring it forward to the board. I think it's a great learning opportunity for our kids to understand how governance works and how changes like that could work as well.
Good idea.
Yeah, school closings, you know, we added that the official decision will be posted on district website, social media, and communicated via parent portal. There used to be a whole bunch of news sites that were listed, and at 4:30 in the morning, I can't guarantee that I will hit all 20 of them that used to be listed. We increased the number of excused absences for career exploration. And then again, added the behavior matrix, that it was up to administrative discretion. So those were the changes that were implemented.
All right, thank you for that detail. Any questions? George, Mark? Amy?
How many snow days do we have? I guess that's kind of been confusing. It's changed over the last
So under,
snow days and distance learning.
yeah, so under state statute, we get up to 5 e-learning days. And then we would kick into snow days. I will say, so we need to have 165 instructional days. And we've got 167. So we are a little tight on the calendar for forgiveness of a non-school day. So you know, if we end up with 8 non-school days or something like that, like we would have to take on the end of the school year.
What's
Make up an addition.
a day you get to 1 o'clock noon, what counts as a full day?
That counts.
Noon?
Yeah, after lunch. would count. They'll be able to count it, yeah.
Okay.
But you could count e-learning too, right? But-
Correct.
Yeah,
We can count e-learning, so, but we really, realistically, we've got 2 days. Could we need 165 instructional days, e-learning can be built into that. So really, with max of 5, with a max of 5, and then there's 2 buffer days, so to speak, that could potentially be forgiven. You know, gonna be a beautiful winter, it's gonna be 60 and sunny all winter, right?
Well, we haven't had many, so it's the last 2 winters.
well, that's why I was asking.
This one here, how we found.
Get ready.
Yeah, they said this year's going to be snowy.
Well, it could be worse, they could have started school today like a lot of other people, right? So.
Right.
Good. Any other questions on the handbook? Emily, didn't get to you
No,
yet.
I think the changes are good.
Good. All in favor? All right. Action item D. We have a motion to recommend the purchase of Minnesota Studies Weekly for elementary social studies curriculum.
What is that?
Let's get the first and second vote. Have them explain before we vote on it. That's fair.
I'll make a motion to purchase Minnesota Studies Weekly for elementary social studies curriculum.
Yep. I'll second it. All right, now.
Yeah, absolutely, so. I'm not sure how this has happened in the past, but I'm used to curriculum purchases being approved by the school board. Because that's in policy, is that our curriculum should be approved by the school board. So Minnesota Studies Weekly is a social studies curriculum that is given to our teachers to utilize. So Minnesota, a few years ago, updated their social studies standards. And there's very Minnesota specific history standards that are a component of that. And most nationally based publishers and curriculum providers, they don't specify to state standards fully, right? You have to supplement in some kind of form with the Minnesota curriculum. I mean, those guys, they'd go broke if they were, you know, printing 50 different copies for the same curriculum and adding in all these things. So you have to do a supplemental curriculum component with that. So Minnesota Social Studies Studies Weekly is the supplemental material that we would like to purchase, and it covers, it gives like a weekly bulletin and it hits all of the standards that we need to address under the Minnesota state law when it comes to social studies for our kids. It does a really great job of mapping out for our teachers, like, here's the week, this is the standard that it hits. This is the activity that you get to do with it. I'm looking at it right now, so that's why I'm kind of trying to make sure I get all the notes that I've got with it. And it gives all the different activities, and it's kind of a weekly hit for our teachers. Now, there are components of our English language arts curriculum that do cover a lot of our social studies standards, but they don't hit enough of them. So that's why we need this supplemental curriculum. I've used it in my last district as well. It's very popular, actually. And it's very relevant and timely because it is a weekly publication. So sometimes they will put in some more current events. You know, I think back to when I was in high school and I'd open up a textbook and it would, you know, the World Trade Centers from 2001 weren't printed in that textbook, you know, and I graduated in 2011, you know, so this is more updated and relevant resource for our students.
So how much does this cost compared to other?
So this is, so it depends on what you want to purchase, really, because everyone kind of, there's different price points and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is for the entire school year, $3,142.62. There's other curriculums that would be less than that, but they don't hit as many standards. So once again, we'd be supplementing from other different locations and different places. And then there's some that are a lot more expensive because they're the full comprehensive national standards book. Jennifer Thompson and her team kind of looked at our English language arts curriculum, and they mapped out the standards and looked and said, okay, we're already hitting these. So we need a supplemental piece that would also address these areas. So we did our best, and she did her best to make sure that we weren't duplicating to get the most cost effective one too.
Okay, I don't think that sounds so bad either.
No, actually, that's
very
like,
shocking.
you know, with the number of students that we have, and it's a weekly publication, and
Did Principal Thompson say what we've had in the past to supplement social studies?
so this
Something
social,
similar?
yeah, and I think a lot of teachers were probably doing it probably supplementing on their own or
Yeah.
finding material.
I mean, I can't speak for the elementary curriculum specific, but I don't believe they have one curriculum like we have the Savas Learning. At the middle school, high school level, but I can't say that they have had a social studies curriculum that they've been using for over a period of time.
So this is for the elementary and the senior,
Just the elementary.
it's just elementary.
Yeah.
George, anything? Mark? Anything further?
Hmm.
Yeah. Looks like a modern day weekly reader.
It sounds exactly.
Honestly, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Well, it's good for current events is.
Yeah.
World's changing quickly these days. Emily, anything further? Okay, all in favor? Okay.
That's just like by a weekly reader.
Right. Okay. Action item E. We have a motion to recommend to approve the donations, which I can tell you what those are. We have $100 from Wilbrett Osgood and $200 from Lori Larson, Restrictions TCA.
Make a motion to accept donations.
Second. Roll call.
Grosum,
Yes.
Turtle,
Yes.
Hickory. Yes. Freeze.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Stare.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Action item F. We have a motion for a recommendation to approve the electrical change order.
I'll make the motion to approve the electrical change order.
Okay, in a second.
I'll second.
All right. What the hell?
All right, so first of all, I want to give a lot of props to Dr. Smith because he has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to understand a little bit more about this and get as much information as well as to Wold and Cross Anderson because they've been very helpful in this. So here's what I understand, and bear in mind, I don't have all the answers. I can get more answers if needed, but I did ask them to give me a little bit of a summary and kind of a little bit of bullet points as to what exactly happened and how we need to fix this going forward. So the electrical design team had requested cut sheets and product information from for Metco and Score Vision, which is the district. This is the selected vendor for scoreboards that the district chose back in 2024. The vendor provided product information on needing typical power and 2 data drops. So we'll design the gymnasium based around this, on the knowledge of typical high school scoreboard power and data requirements. So the design for the gym was built around one 120 volt outlet and 1 dual data drop at each of the scoreboard locations. And then they continue to reach out to Metco and Score Vision. And so the cut sheets weren't provided when requested until long after the bid. And then once the exact product information was provided, the power requirements were much different than what was actually designed. One of the things to keep in mind is that these are custom scoreboards and they're not like the off the shelf products. I think about like Daktronics or, the typical scoreboards that you would see in gyms. Those are design standard based scoreboards. We've got video boards, we've got high robust boards that are going into our gym, which require multiple 208 volt power on the center scoreboards. And so all the scoreboards require multiple power outlets, which is a little bit different. It's not typical of a high school gym to have that. And the other component with that is our center scoreboards each need their own 208 volt circuit to keep each one functioning independently. So if one of them goes out, the other 3 would be able to function on their own. So there's additional labor, labor and material for 208 volt power is more expensive than 120. And then working overhead in a gym to install the conduits more expensive than working like typical height spaces as well. So they did provide, you know, it's 2,320 linear feet of new conduit and 4,185 feet of new wire and numerous connections, terminations, and so I will say this is a pared down quote from what we had previously discussed, because we had eliminated a lot of the shot clocks. And then we had been working with our local electrician to understand exactly how the ones over at the current middle school, high school were installed, and how we can replicate that at our current site. So that is the information that I know about this. You know, it's very difficult to understand everything, because part of this was, I mean, this was even before Dr. Smith was on board, and so we're picking up some pieces here and doing the best we can. We do know though that had this information been brought to us originally, it would have been part of the original bid for the electrical package. Based on the scoreboards that were ordered at the time.
So we're really not out 56,000 because it would have cost us a chunk.
It would have been this,
Yeah,
it would have been rolled in.
And it sounds like there was when Kelly Smith, Horton left from Kelly Smith took over, he didn't realize. I think that Horton had ordered a top-notch scoreboard, and somehow between the transition from superintendent to superintendent, and it got lost in the shuffle. I think Horton knew what it was, you know, but
Right,
Kelly didn't realize that it was, and it got kind of lost, but.
Yeah.
So we're really not dishing out 56,000. It should have been dished out earlier,
yeah,
big chunk of that.
and you know, to Dr. Horton too, is, you know, this Score Vision and Prometco really should have been providing better information up front as well. You know, that was part of the frustration that Wold was having too, is that, and I shared that in that one of those bullets, is that they just weren't getting the right cut sheets, and so they designed that gym around a standard scoreboard.
So there was none of this was included in the original bid.
No,
There's no credit pulled to us for, hey, we had the wrong information. We priced 120, it's 208.
yeah, none of this was, yeah.
Okay, and then I wanna know. So they give us quantity of labor hours, right? Raceways, boxes and fittings, 120 hours. Wire and cable, 44. Miscellaneous, 111 hours. Which I have an issue with, and distribution, and then wiring devices and covers. So they kind of cover everything other than this one very large miscellaneous tab that is almost as much as the other big ticket item of 120 hours. And that's all we get, and it's 13 grand for miscellaneous, so. I would like to know what miscellaneous means. And if you go down the material, they only have $1,400 in miscellaneous material, so I'm guessing the two don't correlate, but. They've already provided us pretty good detail on. Almost the whole thing of what they gotta do, other than this big 112 hours of miscellaneous work. That's. I'm just upset about it, maybe I shouldn't be, but I want, show me more detail, and maybe even maybe walk us through, one of us.
And I can certainly ask them for a better breakdown of that miscellaneous.
Well, I mean, it's a cop out just to say, and by the way, miscellaneous, here's 112 hours, paid me 14 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, cause that's what they're saying.
I can ask them for more, I can ask for more detail as to what that is. I don't know if it would change the pricing, to be honest.
And this isn't gonna affect anything, right? Cause the gym's not opening.
Until December,
Right, so
but I
we-
do know they wanna get in there and start working, because the scissors lifts and stuff, and they wanna. You know, they're on site working on stuff, and they wanna get this going.
It shouldn't take them very long to get that information to us.
Yeah, but it's to require special needs to do,
Oh, just.
to approve it, once they do. And why didn't Carl Sanderson pick up on that?
I think they were under the impression too that they were standard scoreboards. I think.
No, why didn't they question the miscellaneous? For extra time.
And I don't
And
know
who's working for us these days at Carl Sanderson? That's weird.
so Brian Johnson. I don't. And then there's a new, Jason Peterson, I believe he was here.
He was here in the very beginning,
Yeah,
because Dustin's gone
Dustin's gone, yeah. So Dr. Smith just texted me
conveniently.
and said, I believe the miscellaneous is for the termination of all connections.
termination, so landing wires.
I'm not an electrician, to be honest. Went to superintendent school.
I hear you, I hear you, I hear you.
Sorry, I'm not helpful on that side.
What do you guys think?
What did Dr. Smith message you?
He said that the miscellaneous charge was for terminations of all connections.
Here's what does that mean?
The wiring them up into the panels and then on the scoreboard itself. So connecting each end of the wire, basically.
Killer labor hours for.
I don't know, they got wiring devices and covers, distribution,
You said it's 114 hours.
112.
So it's this. This would have been more.
It was in the board.
Yeah.
It was buried way deep in there.
I think it's before or after policies.
Oh.
So. I do know Dr. Smith just did text and say there are a lot of terminations in the gym.
Russ, what is that? What's the termination?
They're just landing wires onto the school, you know, running all these internet wires, hard wires, landing them into the control panel of the scoreboard so that it functions properly.
Oh, it's the end connection?
Yeah, and connections.
Oh.
And then whatever else it's talking to, so it's talking to the score table. It's talking to the other clock, and then it's talking to that clock.
So they got almost 112 connections
You're calling it an hour a piece.
at a unit cost of 119. Seems like a lot of connections.
Well, I don't know if it is, I just think it's a cop out to call it miscellaneous. If it's true cost, tell us what it is. Which it should be then landing wires program or whatever they want to call it. I think they can do a better job. If they want to get going on it, they can go down working a football field for a couple of days.
Well, I mean, that's up to Craig. That's,
I know, but I'm just, they say they want to get going on it, but they haven't finished the football field yet. I don't know what you guys think.
So how much is that's gonna delay the gym with they wanna get into the stuff up in the ceiling, I mean, how much is that gonna do?
It shouldn't delay it at all.
I don't have a full timeline on what that breakdown would look like, so. You know, I do know they don't bring change orders forward unless it's something that they're looking to get moving on. And start working on. So.
Is Dr. Smith rolling his eyes at us right now?
Is he on? It's all.
Like I said, it's be a little more professional, I guess is what I'm after, but. You know, what are they gonna do? They're gonna change miscellaneous and say, termination, landing wires, whatever they wanna call it, it's still gonna, I can change it.
Let's just walk through the timeline, so if we don't approve this and we say we want you to refigure this, the soonest then you could have a meeting is again in 3 days.
Yeah, correct, and we
And
would
so-
need 4 board members.
And 4 board members, so.
How much is Kraus Anderson and Wold hounded them already about this? Quite a bit,
For
I think
months.
quite a bit, huh?
For months, yeah. So, actually, since they've started this whole process, they've been hounding the Score Vision for Medco about the design for these scoreboards.
Didn't the local contractor give us just like a ballpark so we would get fleece behind on it?
I don't have that. I know this is AJ Moore, who's been doing most of the. Yeah,
They're the contractor for the project, but
yeah.
George, thoughts?
I got a hard time to approve it. Especially when I was out there a couple of weeks ago, and I seen they were trenching across the parking lot to hook wiring up from light pole to light pole. And that should have been done before they poured curb.
Correct. Mark?
It's a big number, but you know, if they've been getting hounded, I don't know.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
You think we delay it and have a special meeting, there will really be any change in the cost?
I do not think there would be a change in the cost.
It's gonna go down, because now we're mad.
I don't know, but it might go up.
It might go up.
Well, what? You know, if Kraus Anderson and Wool's been after him for quite a while, wow, the number's probably pretty solid.
The number is very solid. I mean, I know
I
they've
think
been
we're-
working this, yeah.
We're not gonna change a whole lot, we're just gonna look at it.
And this has been around for all of 4 weeks, probably closer to 6 weeks. So it's been being vetted for
It's been being
a
vetted.
month
for-
and a half.
It's been being vetted and it's been very pared down too, I will say. So, I mean, this is a very, Kraus Anderson and Wold have both verified this bid. Yeah, I mean, I've watched it for the past couple of weeks get closer and closer to this and. Like I said, they don't bring a change order forward until they're pretty confident in the pricing and the contractor's ability to get the work done and to move forward, so. You know, my recommendation is to approve this bid because I do believe it is a solid bid. I understand that. You know, AJ Moore and Kraus Anderson and Wold were all put in a really tough situation based off of. Something that should have quite frankly been resolved. In the beginning of the design phase project with this, but it was kind of out of their hands and. It's a unique scoreboard.
This is what Ken had talked about, and when we first approved the Wold, though, is he said, who's responsible for these things that fall through? Um. You know, then, who does it fall? That was Ken's question from the very beginning. I'm not saying there's anything we can do to change it, however, we've said this enough times too, is how many more of these are we gonna get before it's. We need to. Cut this off.
I don't think there's nothing. There's nothing big in the works. Beyond this one, we've been talking about this one in the background for 6,
You said that a lot too.
Yeah,
well,
it is a building. It's very
Yeah.
temperamental.
yep,
It
agreed.
doesn't have feelings, but it's very temperamental. It's, you know, as of right now, there's nothing gigantic bigger than this on the works that I know of. You know, I think. These guys know what they're doing. I know that, I mean, they're vetted, they work on multiple jobs, big projects and job sites, I know. Kraus Anderson's confident in them. As well.
Wow.
So when this original stuff was ordered, we had the scoreboards and 6 shot clocks, correct?
Correct, yeah,
We have 8 shot clocks.
or 8 shot clocks, yeah.
8.
Yeah.
So far, we haven't got any money for the shot clocks, they're just floating out there.
They're just floating, yeah.
What do you say, 1,500 apiece? Well,
About that is what the last number that I've seen, so I'm gonna, like I shared earlier, it's, you know, we're gonna try to either return or. You reach out to the state high school league and say, you know, if someone reaches out for grant money on the shot clock. GFW's got them, they could be delivered the next day, you know, instead of having to go through Ledger or like that, so.
so is that the same place we got the scoreboard?
Correct, yeah, it was all one comprehensive package.
You think we bought that big scoreboard, they would sure take the shot clocks back.
Like I said, I mean, we haven't pushed very hard on that, so, but we can.
So we gotta get rid of how many out of 8, we gotta get rid of 6?
Yeah.
So we're gonna tournament basketball. Frequent basketball courts. How you gonna run shot clocks in 3 courts if you only have 2 shot clocks?
We want. So part of this is, number one is shot clocks are only used for varsity events and programs. The other component of this is there were shot clocks ordered for the side hoops as well, which aren't even competition side, they're like practice shot hoops. And so we would not run a varsity tournament of that magnitude. The other piece of this too that I was thinking about is we've got curtain walls in there. And if you think about 6 shot clocks and multiple games going on, then it's a little chaotic.
You ever see grade school tournaments? It's like football.
It's herd ball.
Yeah, it's a mess.
You know, rest, their miscellaneous makes up 24% of the total bid. That's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So
Material amount.
it's, like I said, probably gonna come back and it's gonna be the same amount, but it's not a principle. Show us some detail. Don't take the easy way out of saying miscellaneous. So I would be more than happy to come back in 3 or 4 days. Show me detail on it. Don't give me one line item that says miscellaneous when you have all this other great detail. And that miscellaneous item is, one of the biggest numbers on that whole sheet. So,
Is that, it's 112 connections, is that what they're charging us for?
Something like that, yeah.
the, Carl Sanderson should have asked for more details. That's just material.
Yeah, this is the material,
Yeah.
then down here at the bottom, it's got wire termination labor 24. I'm not sure, so
So-
are those units? Quantity.
Quantities.
So there's breakdown of like the cost of
Okay, well,
material.
24 hours is a long ways from 111 if we were just told it was terminations.
Well, and I don't, like I said, I don't know the
So-
details of this,
That's what this is gonna be, you're not gonna change it.
Every splice, every junction box.
So we probably get more detail, but I don't think we're gonna change the price.
It's not the change price. It's a. We're proving a point, like,
Yeah, we
Show us.
We've done it for how many times, I mean,
No, we haven't, we've always approved them.
we've owned them forever on this stuff, so. Probably just spinning the wheels.
um. It's, probably talked about long enough, so. All in favor? So. Looks like you have to get more detail from them.
okay,
And it's simple, all I gotta say is they had a huge problem with your massive miscellaneous line item.
so if I get detail of the miscellaneous. Like what? What would you be looking for? Detail, like,
Well, what are they doing with that 111 hours? In this world, it's a safe haven just to throw 4, 8, 10, 12 hours here because I missed that on my last change order and but bury it in this miscellaneous cost. Which that's how the game works, but have them give us detail on that. I'm just saying, I would never get away with that when I work with Carl Sanderson, and I work with Carl Sanderson every day of my week, so I don't know why they're getting away with it. Show us exactly what it means. Ready to move on?
I think you have to,
yeah,
I'll.
Well, we did the motions and we voted.
Oh, don't, okay.
Yeah. 0 vote, we're good.
Okay.
All right, on to action item G, fun stuff. Recommendation to approve 1 read policies. So should we read them all off and do one vote for all, or?
no, you can just, yeah, one vote for all. So-
Yeah, okay. So this will take a bit. I'm gonna read through it here. So can we get a motion to recommend to approve 1 read policies as follows? Policy 414, mandated reporting on child neglect. Policy 503, student attendance. Policy 504, student dress and appearance. Policy 506, student discipline. Policy 514, bullying prohibition. Policy 516, student medication and telehealth. Policy 524, internet technology and cell phone acceptable use. Policy 602, organization of school calendar and school day. Policy 707, transportation of public school students. Policy 709, student transportation safety policy. And policy 806, crisis management policy. Need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Amy, second?
I'll
Ken, okay. Any discussion on it? We kind of talked about it already, right?
I think so.
Okay, all in favor? All right. Action item H. We have a motion to recommend to approve the first of 2 readings of policies as follows. Policy 418, drug-free workplace. Policy 501, school weapons policy. Policy 516.5, overdose medication. Policy 534, school meals. Policy 621, literacy and the READ Act. Policy 802 disposition of obsolete equipment and material.
I'll make a motion on school for the 2 readings.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Talked about it a little bit already, so anything further? Anybody? All right, all in favor? Okay. And on to adjournment, or a motion to adjourn.
Wait,
Oh,
do you have to set special meeting or no?
I don't know how quickly I'm gonna get this back. We
Okay.
could set a special meeting for. We could do Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, yes. I'm guessing I'll be able to get this information pretty quick, like within the next.
they should be able to give it to you tomorrow, so
Right,
why don't we? 3 of us are gonna be here for a policy meeting on Monday. Right?
Yeah.
So we just need 1 more to show up, at minimum on Monday, so it's not,
That too long?
no, week.
I think that,
I think we should be able to get it the week, I think that'd be okay.
3 is now.
Four,
So one extra person will have to show up for 5 minutes.
Who's that on policy?
Anybody else and I. Cool.
does anybody from Gibbon want to come?
Policies at 5 o'clock,
4:30.
4:30, so. 4:20 somebody shows up, or 4:30 somebody shows up.
Well, we did a pretty hefty policy today,
There's a,
Now you're bringing the big dogs.
so, you know, there's not gonna be a ton of policy, so I mean, we could do 4:30.
why don't you do it the first thing?
Yeah, 4:30 right away.
Yeah.
On Monday, the August 25th. I
Okay,
just need. So anyone, so typically when I put out special meeting information, I just say, can you please confirm, and we get 4, we're good. If it's looking like we're not gonna have quorum, then we start to panic a little bit and try to reschedule or try to make it fit at someone's. So, but I'll shoot out an invite to the whole board. If you're able to make it, great. We'll send that out.
Julie, you good with that?
Got
Did
it.
we technically adjourn or we gotta vote again?
Nope, you don't have to vote for it.
Okay,
Adjourn.
all right, thank you, everybody.
Oh. You have to make your motions to adjourn.
Oh, I thought we did that.
Oh,
I
no.
was just gonna.
She's
say-
not-
I stopped.
Trying.
You are always trying, that a motion to adjourn.
Motion
All
to
right,
adjourn.
second,
Second.
all in favor?